Tom Lynch, but got pulled down from behind, and the red and black will start things out on about their 36-yard line.
A little better coverage there on the kickoffs from the Bootleggers than we saw earlier, where they got burned for a long run back.
And there's a shot of the yardstick holder doing a fine job.
Handoff and pileup of players. Carmo not being able to establish much of a running game here with his backfield. A credit to the offensive line and the linebackers of the Bootleggers.
You mentioned that every time a runner for Watertown is taken down, there's about 6 Bootleggers on top of them.
7:27 to go in the first half. 21-0 for the Ottawa Bootleggers. 2 touchdown passes for Rod Moores and 1 for Jamie Price. Tom Carmo would like one of his own. Instead, he hands off.
Once again, the linebackers are right in there.
Lynch tried to go the other way. Couldn't go anywhere.
Another blitz there, Mark. It seems that every play the Bootleggers are blitzing, and it has been paying off.
Say Coach Mike White takes great pride in his defensive line and linebackers, and Watertown doesn't seem to be much of a match for them right now.
There is a player down on the field. We can't get the number, but we'll let you know as soon as we see who it is. Looks like either a knee or an ankle.
It's the first game of the year for the Ottawa Bootleggers. Watertown Red and Black claiming before the game that they were using this as a warm-up to their Empire Football League season. Another pileup.
Interesting call on 3rd and 24.
That's the second interesting call like that we've seen, and
well,
it's a fumble. So the Bootleggers have recovered.
Are they calling that a fumble, or will it be 4th down?
Discussion here by the referees. Huddling.
A couple of the referees pointed the Bootleggers' way, and I guess they didn't all agree.
Here's a replay.
Let's check the replay on this last scramble for the ball.
Here it is.
Camero bobbles it, and definitely Tim McGowan picking the ball up there.
It looks like they are calling it dead, though, when Carmel did drop the ball, so it will be 4th down.
Brad, have the Bootleggers thought about using instant replay for these calls?
Well, they've been thinking of bringing it in, you know. It's under discussion, but I think the Board of Governors has to approve it.
Well, I think that evens it off, though, because there was one call that did go in Jamie Straw's favor earlier in the game on a kickoff return. So now Carmo is not taking any chances. He's going to the shotgun, and looking. Ireland almost gets him. Now Carmo's going to run. So 4th and 22, and they try the old quarterback sweep.
Kind of a stupid play, if you ask me, to be quite honest, with 22 yards to go. Down in their own end, you'd think they'd want to get it away and try and hold off more points for the second half.
Carmo doesn't seem very confident of going deep at all. He's working primarily short yardage plays here.
And he lips off the field. 6 minutes to go in the first half, and the Bootleggers start out on the 29-yard line of the Red and Black. Price is back in at quarterback. And some very early motion there. A lot of miscommunication. And as is the case in a game between bitter rivals, early motion just an excuse for some bodies to be thrown around.
You mentioned the rivalry. It's funny, when you talk about rivalries, usually you're talking about teams that have coexisted for a long time. The Watertown team, I guess, is over 100 years old. The Bootleggers just 2, but it hasn't taken very long.
It's interesting to know that the Watertown Red and Black are actually one of the oldest football organizations in North America, going back to the late 1800s, early 1900s.
I was speaking to one of their assistant coaches before the game, and he had said that he was a player on the Red and Black 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So they bring back some of their old players to help out some of the new ones.
The tradition continues.
You might say that.
Okay.
And the ball is marched back now out to the, what's that, the 34. So it'll be 1st and 15 for the Bootleggers. Illegal procedure. The early motion coming from the Bootleggers line. And Jamie Price getting lots of action here in this second quarter, not only because he's in for Rod Moores, but because the Red and Black haven't been able to muster anything offensively. Price hands off to Sheeran on the outside, and Sheeran gains 10 or 11 yards on that play.
Great acceleration there going around to the left.
And a good fake by Price going the other way after the handoff. 14 yards is the gain, so it'll be 2nd and 1.5.
Second down, short yard.
Ball on the 19-yard line. The officials calling for a measurement now. Five minutes and 3 seconds to go in the first half.
And I believe at halftime we also have the addition of pro tips. Mark, maybe you can tell me a bit about that.
Actually, I think we're going to start that on our next broadcast.
Oh, okay. Well, excuse me, but that
Semi-pro tips.
gives the fans something to look forward to.
Yeah. Semi-pro tips.
Semi-pro tips, excuse me.
The measurement demonstrating that it is, in fact, 2nd down. And Jamie Price is back with a short yardage situation. He's got Sheeran and Weatherall in the backfield. The give is to Weatherall, and he's got the first down.
Jeff Weatherall again back with the Bootleggers this year. He spent his time with the Bootleggers and the Sooners last year, but he's back again playing primarily running back, fullback position, and looking forward to a good year.
Seeing some duty on special teams as well.
He likes to hit.
We've heard that a lot tonight there, Brett.
Thank you.
Jamie Price in at quarterback again. And he's passing. He lofts it into the end zone. Too far for Pat Milks. Similar play to the touchdown pass to Milks. Opposite side of the field this time. This time Milks couldn't catch up with it. Going to the over-the-shoulder catch. And it'll be 2nd and 10. Bootleggers have the ball on the 16-yard line of the Red and Black, threatening to take a 4-touchdown lead here. Beautiful night at Lansdowne Park, 20 degrees the temperature. Very comfortable and a good night for football. Price keeps it, good sneak, and he gains about 7 or 8 yards.
Very well executed draw play on that one, Mark. We saw he took the snap and faked a little to the right and went around the center and gained a good 7 or 8 yards.
This sets up 3rd, and actually give him 9 or 9.5 yards on that one. Not quite a full moon here at Lansdowne Park tonight.
Watertown's going to take a timeout here, I think, Mark.
They have only one left. 3:42 to go in the half. And the Bootleggers lead 21-0, so Price gets 9 on that quarterback draw. And it appears to be Parents' Day here in the red and black huddle. A couple of kids out there.
Discount help.
Maybe Coach Don Dixon figures if the way Tom Carmo's been calling the game, they could use some advice from some of the fans.
Right, we mentioned some of what's going on at halftime here today. You might want to mention for some of the viewers some of the other promotions the Bootleggers have in store for folks in Ottawa this summer.
Okay, well, like I said, the big one, I think, is going to be Midget Wrestling Day.
Speaking of promotions.
There we see the Grim Reaper taking a little walk down the sideline, you know, having a good time here, getting
I have
the fans
to say,
going.
he looks like death warmed over.
Well, you know, in real life, he looks like death warmed over, but like I said, AWA Midget Wrestling, Farmer Pete and Little Lou Jackson.
Now, it's worth pointing out that
It probably is worth pointing out. Why don't you point it out for us?
This is not a joke. There really are going to be midget wrestlers.
There really is going to be midget wrestlers.
Yeah,
It's for real.
This is not a joke.
Mm-hmm.
Midget wrestlers will be coming to Lansdowne Park as part of the halftime show of the Ottawa Bootleggers this year.
Of course, Elvis will be back late in September, and there's going to be Casino Night, a tribute to Pete Rose, which we're all looking forward to.
Jamie Price with 3rd and 1. If this were the CFL, it would be a Pete Rose situation. Gambling. Price sneaks through, and he's got a touchdown.
Same play as before.
What should have been just a plunge, really. 3rd and 1. I thought Price was simply going to dive, but nobody touched him, and he just kept going.
You know, why get hit if you don't have to, I think, you know?
Perhaps the most surprised person of all on that play was Jamie Price.
Stand by. Here we go. Roll it. And 6.
Price takes the snap, and everyone leaves him alone.
And get ready to freeze
Good
it.
blocking there in front of him by Warner Miles.
Freeze it. Hang on. And back.
Well, the quarterback situation even now with Jamie Price getting a couple touchdowns of his own here.
What you can do is just type in
27-0 the score now.
7.
And we await the kick from Jeff Morris. There's an injured Watertown player down on the field. I don't know if that ambulance
The ambulance is on the way.
Someone called 911, I guess.
That's
that was
pretty quick
fast
response.
service.
With the score 27-0, the Watertown Red and Black are maybe finding out why Jeff Morris is trying to get the city of Ottawa to change the name of Lansdowne Park to Death Valley. I don't know what kind of progress he's having on that, but
Well, at the same time, we've got Joanne Polak working on changing it to Lansdowne Park.
let's not talk about that.
3:38 to go in the first half. It is a bit of a laugher so far. 27-0. Interesting to point out that through this first half, the Bootleggers have a total of 6 first downs, which is not a lot for a team that has 27-28 points on the board.
Well, they've come lately by big plays or great field position.
Now we'll see Morris's point after attempt. He's 3 for 3 so far. And Straw keeps it. There's the pass. Touchdown.
Wide open.
Two-point convert for Hudson.
So a little salt in the wounds there by the Bootleggers.
That is the difference from the actual NFL rules that the minor league teams do have. They have a 2-point convert that they can go for.
Obviously no loss between these two teams to try a 2-point convert when you're already up 27-0.
Well, you never know, eh? If the Watertown has a big second half, that might come in handy.
Coach Mike Waite guarding against the big comeback.
Somehow I don't think that we're going to be looking back on that play as the turning point in the game.
That could be the Panasonic play of the game, eh? Or the turning point play.
So the 2-point convert coming from Jamie Straw, who after receiving a touchdown pass in the first quarter, shows that he can throw the ball himself. Straw throwing it to Hudson for the 2 points. almost surprised they didn't try an onside kick.
Look at Mike Morris. He's right in there and kills him.
Mike Morris making the tackle as Lynch ran back that kick. One of the red and black players being attended to on the sideline. 3:13 to go in the first half, and it's 29-0 for the Bootleggers. 4 touchdowns and a 2-point convert. Tom Carmo still looking for his first successful series of downs. While the Bootleggers have the luxury of carrying 3 quarterbacks into this game, it's interesting to point out that Watertown has listed only one, and that being Carmo. There's a handoff, gain of about 2 or 3 yards.
Player there for Watertown giving an extra bump to Shane Ireland. I'm not sure I'd want to do that.
Hurry up offense, it looks like, Mike.
With 2:24 to go. Watertown hoping, I guess, to get a couple of cracks at a touchdown before the half winds down. Motion in the backfield, and Carmo takes the snap. I think this will be offside Bootleggers. Carmo rolls out and takes a hit and falls out of bounds. And number 32, Dave Ricoeur, is not the happiest guy in the world about something.
Maybe a little frustrated at this point.
There's the 2-minute warning. See what the call is. Illegal procedure. So they're ruling that the Bootlegger lineman was drawn offside. And now it's 3rd and 10.
I think we'd have to say it's a rather good job being done by the referees tonight. Compared to last year, we saw a few games. Oh, there's number 40 having a little smile.
John Check seems to be having a good time.
Yeah, well, you know, even
part of the score. Carmo having some extra time to get ready for this play. We'll see what ensues. Nobody lining up wide. And there's they handed off. The snap went to someone else, and then the attempted pass dropped by the receiver.
You could see the receiver once again a little bit tentative before the ball got there, because Tim Yee was coming in like a steam train, and he followed right through.
So the snap did not go to Carmo. It went to someone else in the backfield, I guess. And he flipped the pass out, and the receiver dropped it.
It was actually a pretty good pass again, but the receiver seemed to know that they are going to get hit.
Kind of a funny time to be pulling stuff out of a hat. See if Carmo takes the snap this time. He's going for the shotgun. Well, they might be kicking, but you never know. 4th and 11. They are kicking. Not a bad one. One of the better ones so far.
It's a good kick.
Straw did not touch it there. He gets behind the ball, and now it falls free, and Straw has to cover up, and he'll be on the 15-yard line. So the Bootleggers will not have great field position this time out. With 1:14 to go, a very good kick. Canty getting his best one of the day out of the into the air, and it's a 61-yard kick. So
good kick, a good roll off. Well, wasn't a great snap.
And don't be surprised to see the Bootleggers going all out, even though there's 1:13 to go in the first half with a 29-point lead. This is not the kind of team that lets a quarter wind down. Although, looks like the red and black are lining up like they're going to. Let's see what Price does. There's some motion.
Flags all over the place here.
Getting back to
if I had a flag, I would have thrown it on that one. It was so obvious.
Getting back to that other comment, Coach Mike White isn't the kind of person to really care about the other team's feelings. So, like you said, they like to finish off every play.
So it is offside against the red and black. 1st and 5 now for the Bootleggers with 1:09 to go. You may even see the hurry-up offense from Ottawa. There's the handoff, and it goes right to Sheeran. Interesting play because Sheeran had already been hit before the ball had been handed to him.
We're seeing a little of everything here tonight, Mark.
So now it's 2nd and 7. I'm really looking forward to when there's about 5 seconds left to see if they go for the Hail Mary. Jamie Price. He finds Hudson. Hudson catches it, bobbles it, and he's pulled down at about the 25, make it the 20, well, the 25-yard line's where they're going to spot it.
He'll be about half a yard short, it looks like, Mark.
And the seconds are ticking down. 15 to go now in the first half, the second quarter. 3rd and inches. This will be the last play of the half. And they won't get it underway.
We'll go for the interview with Mike White right after the...
That concludes the first half here at Lansdowne Park. The Ottawa Bootleggers scoring 29 points. What an offensive outburst for the Bootleggers. Both quarterbacks, Price and Moores, turning in a good performance so far.
Well, it'll be interesting to see the statistics in the first half because the Bootleggers only did get 6 first downs. Like Dave said, that a lot of them were big plays. So we'll check our handy statistician, Mike Bolton, and get the totals for you here in a second.
In the meantime, we're going to now take a look at the Bootleggers training camp, which has been held over the past few weeks at Mooney's Bay, the Terry Fox facility. I had a chance to speak with head coach Mike White about how training camp was going, and let's take a look at what Mike White had to say.
Mike White, coach of the Bootleggers. Training camp this year has been an open, invitational kind of thing. Tell me about some of the players that have just shown up at training camp this year.
Big Jim Kamoga from Muskegon. No. There's been a lot of good ball players from the area. Kenny Wong, Danny Murphy, Rod Moores, Jamie Price, and I'll just draw you a list, but there's good talent. Once people will see, once we get going, I think we'll have more depth than last year, a little more size, probably a little more team speed also.
Last year you started the team because there was a void in football for people who had finished university or junior football and were not going on to the CFL. Are there a lot of players like that still in the Ottawa area?
Oh, yeah, quite a few. There's even some who may not be going back to university for whatever reason. Read through the lines. There's Ottawa's a football, rich, and we could field 2 teams, I think. But I'm pretty happy with the talent overall.
So you think you're going to have more depth than last year?
Yeah, I think so. Sorry about that. Pretty much everywhere, I think, a little more depth. Another bonus is the guys that work together and know, a lot of them know the fellow playing next to them or behind them. So we're a more mature team overall. I'm not more mature, but the team is.
Last year, as far as quarterbacking was concerned, you had a couple of names that were familiar to Ottawa sports fans. Rick Mitch, a product of Ottawa U, and as well Cam Collins from Carleton U. This year, they've both joined the coaching ranks themselves.
Actually, I think they've both taken jobs as career models. I think now Rick's with Ottawa U and Cam's with Carleton. And this year we have Rod Moores, that's Robert Borden product, which is a football factory in itself. And we have Jamie Price from out in Acadia, and Tom McKenna from, he played at St. FX, and he's from South Carleton. So those 3, we have 3 proven quarterbacks, and it looks like Rod is the starter, and followed by Jamie and Tom.
Tell me about Rod Moores.
Well, let's see. Went to board and played at U of T, which is a passing-oriented offense. He's a student of the game, very intelligent. He doesn't really like to roll out. He can if he has to. More of a drop-back quarterback. Reads defense as well. He's a real leader. He's almost like a coach on the field. And last year he played and coached in Italy. So it's interesting for him coming back here speaking English.
Can you assess yet what type of offense we can expect to see?
No, I think we're well-balanced. I think we'll be able
Into the end zone. Let's now go down to the field and watch some of the halftime festivities.
73 years young woman who last year was a finalist in the Miss Ottawa Rough Rider competition. I think you'll agree that she did a terrific job. She is a longtime Ottawa Rough Rider and now a staunch bootlegger supporter. She's been a football fan for many years. And we would like to express our appreciation to Pearl Fleming as we crown Pearl the Queen of Football and Miss Ottawa Bootlegger 1989.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you to the 89th season for the Ottawa Bootleggers. Aren't they a great team? What about this game?
Pearl, the Bootleggers have a presentation that they would like to make to you as you are officially crowned the Queen of Football and Miss Ottawa Bootlegger. Would you do the honors, Grim Reaper? That's not some sort of a... never mind. It has nothing to do with... No. And of course, the crowning touch, ladies and gentlemen. Flown in from the parking lot at North Silver Dollar to be here for us this evening. The Crown Tiara. Reap, do you want to do the honors again? There she is, ladies and gentlemen, the Queen of Football, Miss Pearl Fleming. Now, I understand that Pearl has a special song that she would like to perform for one of the ball players. So I'll turn it over to her now.
I'd like to sing Happy Birthday to Warner Miles. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Miles. Happy to you. You're welcome. How about for Miles? Give him a big hand. How about that? How about these bootleggers?
Never mind. Thank you, Pearl. Also, congratulations are in order in the recent birth of Coach Mike White's next child. He's working on a front four. We understand he'll have a backfield before the end of the 90s. We done? Once again, ladies and gentlemen, as she is escorted off the playing field, here she is, the Queen of Football, and Miss
So Pearl Fleming is crowned the queen of football here, and we'll pick things up where we left off in our first half scoring summary. Jamie Price, who came into the game in the second quarter at quarterback, completed the first half scoring with a 10 or 11 yard quarterback draw. He ran the ball in. It was a short yardage situation. He was just going for the first down, and nobody touched him, and Price was able to run it in, and then to pour salt into the Watertown red and black, into their wounds. Jamie Straw took the snap on the point after attempt and completed a pass to Hudson, Gord Hudson, for the 2-point convert, giving the Bootleggers a 29-0 lead. And I'm sure at halftime, the Watertown red and black are looking a little bit more like the Watertown black and blue.
Well, I was talking down there, Mark, to some of our camera people are standing on the sidelines beside the bench. She said at the end of the first half, they were not a happy bunch. Very frustrated, a little hot-tempered. So, as we say, we may see some tempers heat up a bit in this second half.
Let's take a look at the halftime stats. So far in the game, the Bootleggers have gained 21 yards on the ground, 130 through the air. Rod Moores completed 4 out of 5 pass attempts for 115 yards and a couple of TD passes. Jamie Price, 2 for 4 for 15 yards and 1 TD pass. Bootleggers had 8 penalties for 80 yards and 6 first downs. Watertown gained only 12 yards on the ground, 20 yards passing, and had 30 yards in penalties. So a net offense for the red and black of 32 yards in the first half. They had only 1 first down. And the Bootleggers, as the statistics would show, totally dominated the first half. Moores going, as I said, 4 for 5 for 115 yards through the air. The Bootleggers gaining 130 yards total in passing in the first half. Pearl Fleming will be back between the third and fourth quarters to lead the crowd through "You Gotta Be a Football Hero," one of my all-time favorites of yesterday and today. We're ready for the second half to begin. Bootleggers leading 29-0. Got a good look at the Bootleggers front office structure during the first intermission there, the halftime show. Mike White, the tobacco-chewing head coach of the team, and Jeff Morris, the ever-candid general manager and punter and field goal kicker.
I think really impressed with Pearl Fleming's voice, too.
I'd also like to say that after that halftime interview, I still haven't finished cleaning off my shoes from Mike White.
He's an emotional guy, you know?
Yeah. Next time, I think I'll wait until after he's finished chewing his tobacco. 29-0 the score for the Ottawa Bootleggers. The Watertown red and black getting a bit of a baptism by fire into this season. This game, I'm sure in retrospect they will be happy to take note of the fact that this game will not count in the EFL standings for Watertown this year. Again, the Bootleggers dominating the first half statistically, but still an interesting half. As Dave was saying, there a lot of different plays, a lot of things you don't see too often in football, and as well a team able to score 4 touchdowns with only 6 first downs.
I think the one thing that they might have to work on, and it is the first game, is the penalty situation, because I think they did have a number of penalties, 8 to be exact for 80 yards, and I'd say at least half of those weren't necessary. So I think that just comes with the discipline and the playing together, and it should be good.
I can remember 3 or 4 occasions where the Bootleggers were called for unsportsmanlike conduct or a late hit. So take that out of it, and it's a near-perfect performance for the Ottawa Ready for the kickoff now. And the Bootleggers will receive, hoping to pick up where they left off in the second quarter. See what the performance of Warner Miles is like on the day before his birthday.
Jamie Straw and Mike Sheeran back to receive the kickoff here for Ottawa.
And the second half is underway with a ground ball that's picked up by Bino. Runs into one of his own men, now sweeps outside and gets pulled down at the 36. Brian Bino taking the kick as it didn't make it all the way back to where Straw and Sheeran were waiting for it.
Should remind our viewers, Mark, as you say the 36, anyone who may be tuning in late, when Mark says the 36, the ball is actually placed on what looks like the 41. To figure out where the ball actually is, subtract 5 from what it appears to be. That because of the alterations to the field here at Lansdowne Park.
They've chopped 5 yards off at each end to make the end zones because, of course, we're playing American rules football here, 100 yards to the field instead of 110. And we'll give you some metric conversions later if you want to convert the temperature, maybe your weight.
Brent's working on those.
Give me a couple hours.
Subtract 5 degrees, multiply by 312, and that's what it is in Kelvin. 14 minutes to go in the third quarter, 29-0 Bootleggers. Giving some of their other players a chance to see some work, and an example of that, as we expected, Tom McKenna is into the game at quarterback. McKenna, the third-string quarterback on the Bootleggers, and this being the third quarter, why not? It'll be interesting to see who gets to throw in the fourth quarter. Maybe Jeff Morris will make his debut. There's the handoff. It goes to Neil Hunt, who has come into the game at running back, so further changes for the Bootleggers. Hunt gains 4 on the play. So we have 3rd and 5. McKenna. He has Waters and Milks lined up wide. McKenna will throw. We've got a flag. It is to Hudson. Hudson takes a hit and then is pulled down close to midfield, about 3 yards short. But we do have a flag on the play.
It's going to be holding against Ottawa, Mark.
You're watching Ottawa Bootleggers football on Cable 22. I'm Mark Sutcliffe along with Brent Tobes and Dave Naylor. First of several games we'll be showing you this year as the Bootleggers go it independent this year. Ranked number 5 in the nation.
Nations.
That's right. Ranked number 5 in North America. The only Canadian team in the rankings. And McKenna will throw again. And now he's hit and pulled down. And a rather excited John Check.
Watertown has taken a few lessons from Ottawa. They're starting to blitz quite a bit. A takeover from the second quarter, and that was number 40, linebacker in on that tackle.
Well, you saw John Check celebrating there. It's one of the few times their defense has had the opportunity to celebrate, so I guess he's taking full advantage of that. Quarterback's been pretty well protected for Ottawa so far tonight.
Morris back to punt. He will be kicking from about his own 5-yard line. So Watertown can expect good field position again. A low snap that hits the ground and not a great kick for Morris. It's caught on the fly by Rick Parker. He made a good reception there. It was almost like he was catching a pass. Parker doesn't get anywhere on the return, and the red and black will start out in Bootlegger territory. Only 25 yards on the kick for Morris. That'll bring his average down. Not much of a wind If there is any, it would be in Morris's face this quarter. And on the backs of the red and black. Tom Carmo still in at quarterback. 3 men in the backfield, as we've seen for most of the game. There's the handoff, and tripped at the line of scrimmage was Tom Lynch. Not able to get too far. So 2nd and 8. Ten minutes and 22 seconds to go in the third quarter. Red and black needing to get back in the game at this point. Carmo hands off to Lynch again. This time he finds a hole, and he makes it out to the 30-yard line. Good run for Tom Lynch.
The offensive line of Watertown really pulled very well on that play. They were out quickly and threw some good blocks, and he was able to get to the outside for a
good hit along the sidelines by Rich LaPointe to knock Camero out of bounds, and he's hurt.
That was a good run by the quarterback, but it is not a good way to stay healthy, running into the secondary like that.
And when you're very anxious coaching staff has made it down the sideline over to where Camero is lying on his back.
Mark, you mentioned he's the only quarterback on the roster. We may have to see some ingenuity from Watertown if he's not able to come back in.
I'm sure the Bootleggers would gladly lend a quarterback to the red and black at this point.
He looks like he's...
Well, he has to come out for at least this play, so we're going to see something interesting here. Although, let's not forget that the way the red and black's offense has been, the snap could go to anyone at any time anyway, so...
It looks like number 89, Isaiah Canty, will be the new quarterback replacement.
Not very often you see number 89 on a quarterback. He is also the kicker on the team, don't forget, so...
And a wide receiver.
That's right.
Many talents.
Seeing triple duty, Canty takes the snap, and not surprisingly, he's going to try and run, but he loses about 4 or 5 yards on the play.
Paul Brown was in there very quickly. That was a designed run, but he didn't get anywhere with that.
Canty very obviously was not going to pass on that play.
No, he didn't fool the secondary at all.
He never showed any intention whatsoever of throwing the ball, and very quickly, Camero is back into the game.
As he goes back out to his wide receiver position.
And if they're not careful, he may be back in as a kicker soon. Carmo drops back. Now he's looking to Canty. Canty in the end zone. And it is incomplete. Canty turning around, hoping for a call from the official there. The coverage provided by Ryan Carey. A good pass by Carmo, and a fight for the ball, and it was knocked away in the nick of time by Ryan Carey.
Defender was right on him that time. It was perfect coverage. As you say, not a bad pass, but the coverage was right there.
Tough play still because of the height of Isaiah Canty, able to reach above the defender.
And a costly penalty here. It looks like it's roughing the passer against Ottawa, and that's going to move it up, I guess, 15 yards.
Bootleggers keeping up their image of being a physical team.
So not a bad drive actually here by Watertown in the third quarter.
Well, they're up.
They have their 4th first down now. So 3 first downs already in the first 9 minutes of this half, when they got only 1 in the first 30 minutes of the game. Carmo with the handoff and a gain of 3 or 4.
It seems that Watertown is actually trying to follow some sort of game plan on this drive. We know in the first half they were up and down. They weren't consistent with their calls. It seems they're going with the run more and a couple of passes to keep the defense offset, and it's working pretty well for them.
Another big difference is they aren't have the second and long, third and long, 15, 20 yards having to get for a first down. They're staying away from that.
Shane Ireland has come out of the game. He's not in at his familiar lineback spot. And breaking through is Lynch. Red and black players signifying that they signaling that they have a touchdown, but so far there's been no call from the officials, and they are saying now third down.
Looks like he's short by a yard, Mark. It was a good hit right on the goal line, and he drove him back.
So Lynch unable to run through for the touchdown. This drive by the red and black has been mostly on the ground. The one touchdown pass attempt was knocked down by Ryan Carey. Bootleggers call timeout here. And the ball appears to be about a yard shy of the end zone.
Well, in that first half, aside from the great defense we saw in Ottawa, Watertown was setting themselves up with 2nd and 15, 2nd and 25, things like that. And because they were having trouble going deep at all, they left themselves no opportunity to put together any first downs at all. Now they're able to use this short yardage game because they're looking at 6, 7 yards for a first down instead of 20. Ottawa's defense going to have their first goal line stand here of the season.
And nothing like a little Van Halen in the background during a timeout.
Good football music.
Yes, it goes right along with the whole attitude, you know.
We have 5 minutes and 7 seconds remaining in the third quarter. The red and black knocking on the door. They have third down with the ball on the 1 yard line. Will Carmo keep it himself? Will he hand off to Lynch or Recor? Actually, he has less than a yard to go. The ball is almost placed on the goal line. Carmo hands off. I don't think he got in.
It looks like they kept him out again. Very good pressure by the defense. The linebackers in the line fired right away.
Rich LaPointe coming in there and holding him back with the second effort from the Watertown runner.
Here comes a decision for Don Dixon. Do you go for the field goal to break the shutout, or do you go for it all and risk giving the Bootleggers yet another emotional surge?
Well, you never know about that fake punt.
I don't see anyone lining up in field goal formation, but you never know. Carmo is ready. 3, 4 men in the backfield. Carmo swings wide.
Pass.
And it's picked off. He breaks a tackle, and Carey is pulled down at the 30-yard line. Make it the 32. Ryan Carey intercepting the pass and running it out to the 32. And several red and black players are with their mouths hanging open in disbelief.
Very frustrated. I don't know who called that play, but we're going to see the replay here.
I think you see very early here that Carmo is in trouble. He looked like the play had gone broken right from the start.
Good run back by Carey, making it all the way out before Canty pulls him down from behind. Play underway again, and pass complete from McKenna to Hudson. Hudson, who loves to put his head down when an oncoming defender is in the way.
Getting back to that last play, I don't know why Watertown would elect to pass the ball. They had success with the run, and it was red right after it was snapped. Quite obvious.
So the red and black reaching all heights of futility here. With the ball on the 1 yard line, they get 2 cracks, and the pass is picked off. And head coach Don Dixon and quarterback Tom Carmo must be wondering what they have to do to get a point on the board. McKenna hands off, Swinging out is Neil Hunt. He's got a first down and more.
And I'd say all the running backs have performed rather well tonight, Mark and Dave. They've all stepped in, and each one of them has performed well.
We've seen Domery Robertson, we've seen Neil Hunt, Jeff Weatherall, Mike Sheeran in there as well, Brian Bino. So it's been quite a night for running backs.
Neil, I believe, is another former Carleton Raven running back.
In the backfield again, along with Steve Powell, who is another running back that the Bootleggers have used tonight. McKenna. This time he'll pass, and he's been hit and dragged down by Check, who gets his second sack of the quarter. John Check with another sack.
I'd have to say John Check has been the best player defensively for Watertown. He's called in to rush when there's a blitz called, and he's been the first player in there every time. As we see the full moon rising over the stadium, and it's quite a pretty sight, isn't it?
Not quite a full moon.
Not quite a full moon.
Picturesque evening.
It is a beautiful night here at Lansdowne Park.
Probably the nicest night I have ever seen.
Let's not get ridiculous. McKenna drops back. He's going to pass on 2nd and 23. Check falls down, or he might have had another sack, and a couple of other players get in there instead. 65 and 78. Bud Mason being one of the players who pulled him down. So we're looking at 3rd and dozens. A minute to go in the 3rd quarter. Bootleggers still without any points in this quarter.
There we saw Jamie Price maybe coming in here. He ran onto the field there, now turned around and has gone back to talk to the coach.
Looks like
Price
Tom
will have
McKenna's
to
hurt.
Yeah, McKenna is hurt, so Price or Moores will have to come in, one or the other, at least for one play. McKenna roughed up on that sack. 57 seconds to go, and off goes McKenna. And here comes Price. Play whistled in before the Bootleggers had a quarterback on the plug. Price will lead them this time. Again with Hunt and Powell in the backfield. Lining up on the outside, Waters and Milks. Price drops back. He's looking to the left. Now he's running with it, and he gets about 3 or 4 yards, not even, maybe 1 or 2.
Once again, the Watertown defensive line has put on good pursuit, and they've been containing the quarterback. He tried to get outside there, but had nowhere to go.
In the first half, we saw the Bootlegger quarterbacks with all kinds of time to pass. In this half, so far, they haven't had as much, and we've seen 2 or 3 sacks.
And a key to it has been the downfield coverage by Watertown. They've been
It's not 22 seconds of the game. These guys should form a union or something here.
The ball is right on the goal line.
So it is 3rd down. Bootleggers looking to add insult to injury here with another touchdown. Moores has Bino and Sweeney in the backfield. Straw lining up outside along with Johnston. And he's going to throw to Straw. Straw wide open for the touchdown, but way past the end zone. Too deep, and it will be 4th down. Straw would have had a touchdown in the CFL, but he was about 5 or 6 yards deep of the end zone, past the end zone on this American rules field.
Fans cheering for them to go for it, and they most definitely will.
29-0 the score for the Bootleggers, and they go for it on 4th and 1 with 4 minutes and 44 seconds to go in the 4th quarter. And back to Straw it goes, touchdown.
Shows Rod Moores has a lot of confidence in his receivers to go for the pass again on the 4th down.
It also shows that he learned from his mistake. Threw it too deep to Straw last time, and this time he connected. Straw didn't have to run through the end zone for that one.
And here comes the replay. Roll it.
Let's check the replay on the touchdown. Moores showing a great deal of composure, taking his time, lofting it up, and again,
Squeeze it. Back to
not
2.
very good coverage on Straw, although his speed certainly opens up a lot of holes for him.
So I believe that's Jamie Straw's second touchdown of the game.
It is indeed. He had the first, perhaps he'll have the last.
1 wide.
35-0. Will they go for 2? No, just 1. And it's good.
2, tight number
36-0 now.
6, 2. The guy just kicked the ball. Quickly.
And now we've got a flag thrown. More pushing after the whistle. This will be marched off on the kickoff.
3. 3's up.
36-0 Bootleggers with 4:37 to go in the fourth quarter.
2.
Well, if anything, this game should reinforce the Bootleggers' ranking of 5th in North America. It'll be interesting to see how the game's interpreted by those making the rankings.
Is Pearl Fleming... Pearl Fleming is indeed singing now. And Jamie Straw is dancing. The song stylings of Pearl Fleming here at Lansdowne Park on a Saturday night. Big round of applause for the Queen of Football, Pearl Fleming.
What a voice, Mark. What a voice.
And Jamie Straw is indeed the football hero tonight with 2 touchdowns. Morris's kickoff is deep and through the end zone, as a matter of fact. And some more pushing and shoving as they move down the field. The red and black will start out on their 20-yard line. Down by 36 points, and still not on the board. We have another flag on the play, and this is back at the line of scrimmage. It is offside against the Bootleggers, so they'll re-kick.
That's the third offside penalty on the Bootleggers on the kickoff.
They've dodged some bullets here tonight.
Very impressive, though. They've come up big when they had to on the goal line stand, and then each time getting close to the Watertown end, they've never been turned away. So the execution at the crucial times has been good tonight for Ottawa.
Here is a kick from Morris, about the same distance, and because of the 5 yards on the offside, this one doesn't go through the end zone, and it's run back to about the 22-yard line. And on the tackle that time was Mo Lepage. So they'll start out on the 22. And a very frustrated Tom Carmo will continue to quarterback the red and black. Carmo hands off. And a group effort by the Bootleggers to pull down the ball carrier after a gain of a yard. Jim Jolliker carried the ball on that play. So it'll be 2nd and 8. 2nd and 9 from the 23.5-yard line. Carmo in again. Fakes the handoff, and now he sweeps outside, thinking about throwing, but decides to keep it. And rather than go out of bounds, he takes number 23, Tim Yee, head on. that's the way he got injured last time, but he's okay this time.
He certainly likes to live dangerously. He doesn't like to go out of bounds. He likes to go for that extra yard. He's shown a lot of heart, I think, tonight.
He's run that play, the keep sweep there quite a few times, and even on the plays that he's made yardage, he's always had 4 or 5 bootleggers in his face. Never really fooled anybody tonight.
He did get a first down, though, on that last play.
Hands off this time again, and maybe a gain of a yard for number 22, Jim Jolicoeur. It is 36-0 for the Bootleggers. We're approaching the 2-minute warning in the fourth quarter. Ottawa playing its first game in its new independent schedule this year. Next up for the Bootleggers, a July 29th matchup with Brooklyn. The Mariners will visit Lansdowne Park, and our next televised game will be August the 12th. It'll be midget wrestling night.
All looking forward to that one.
And who will be playing that night?
In the midget wrestling, or
no, in the football, in the second,
in the
secondary entertainment.
In the football game. Actually, I'll have to check my schedule.
It will be Chambersburg.
Pennsylvania Cardinals.
That's right. I checked my handy wallet-size schedule.
Well, it does come in handy.
We've reached the 2-minute warning. One last gasp, perhaps, for Tom Carmo and the Watertown Red and Black.
The fans now starting to file out of the stadium, feeling that a victory is about to be upon them.
Well, let's not jump to any conclusions.
You never know with that fake punt.
36-0 is the score for Ottawa. Getting a little bit chillier here tonight, but it's been a quick game. It's only a quarter after 10, and we're already a couple of minutes away from finishing this game here tonight. Carmo fakes the handoff, dumps it out, and the receiver not even looking. It's picked off. Andrew Ferguson with the interception.
Andrew Ferguson, again, joining the team from last year. Another veteran, I guess you could call him, and pretty excited about that interception. I'd say that the fans have gotten their $5 worth tonight, gentlemen.
Definitely.
The pass was intended for, I believe, Canty, and he wasn't even looking. And stepping in there was Ferguson to pick it off. And with 1:50 to go, the Bootleggers will maybe try to run up the score again. On a moonlit night here at Lansdowne Park. Moore's hands off. Good second effort on the play. And making it out to about the 33 was number 35, Domery Robertson, who's back in the game. He's in the backfield along with Mike Sheeran.
Chris Johnston on the right side there, who we saw score a touchdown earlier back in the game.
There's Lalonde. He's open. He's got it. Makes a move over at the sideline. Another move for Lalonde. And he gained about an extra 5 yards on that play against 4 Watertown defenders. Good effort by Steve Lalonde. We have 1 minute and 1 second to go in the game.
And I would say that the Bootleggers would like to have 40 points up on the scoreboard.
We'll probably see a shot at the end zone here, I think.
Sure looks that way. All the first stringers are back in. Straw, Chris Johnston, Steve Lalonde, the receivers. Sheeran's in the backfield, and Moore's the quarterback. Bootleggers actually called timeout on that play. They're winning 36-0. There's 1 minute to go in the game.
Well, like you said,
and
Mark,
they called timeout.
You said it's been a quick game. I guess the Bootleggers have enjoyed this. They want to stretch it out a little longer.
Well, I'm sure what they're doing, of course, is getting that extra salary for the people who are paid by the hour here tonight.
Is that us?
Definitely not.
Moores. Is Straw going to get a hat trick here tonight? Moores is looking that way. He's got Straw. Straw takes the pass while he's being hit. A great reception for Jamie Straw.
Excellent concentration to hold on to that ball when he hit the turf.
Beautiful pass once again by Rod Moores. You can tell he has a lot of confidence tonight because he went right up the middle with that pass, and Straw was right there.
And they use the hurry-up offense a little bit here with 30 seconds to go. Moores has Straw up on the right this time. He hands off, and a good second effort, but not all the way to the goal line was Robertson.
And another timeout by Ottawa to stop the clock with 20 seconds left.
20 seconds to go. So this is the last timeout, and I think this is the first time in my life that I've ever seen a football game where a team with a 36-point lead has called 2 timeouts in the final minute, and the team that's losing hasn't used any of their timeouts this half.
And into the game is big number 63, Dave Klosna for the Watertown Red and Black.
$20 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. The ball is on the 1-yard line at second down. And you have to wonder if Moores is going to throw again.
I wouldn't count it out.
The last time they were on the 1-yard line, he threw to Straw a couple of times. One time completing a really nice pass, except for the fact that it was about 10 yards too deep in the end zone. The second time, another good pass, and it did count. And if you're thinking ahead, what sort of strategy will the Bootleggers use on their 2-point convert attempt?
And there you see Jamie Straw with the feather sticking out of his helmet, kind of a trademark.
Straw lines up to the right this time. It's Johnston to the left. Lalonde to the inside receiver. Moores is going to keep it. He's through for the touchdown. Somewhat fitting that Moores, who threw for 3 different touchdowns, would keep it this time himself and get on the scoreboard, giving the Bootleggers a 42-0 lead.
And I don't think the Watertown bench is too impressed with that last